Hello, my name is Nick Berg. I'm the owner of Footwear Outfitters. Been in the shoe business for a little over 20 years, and I'm here to discuss today the answers to the most common question we get: why do my feet hurt? We're going to do a three-part video that will discuss proper fit, arch support, and comfort based on cushioning. So number one, when it comes to your feet hurting, the first thing we look at is proper fit. Almost everybody knows that feet are shaped differently, but nobody's ever taught us to take shape into consideration. Okay, first and foremost, I have a diagram here of a couple of feet. If you look at them, their toe length and their width is exactly the same. But if you look at the arch on the left foot, it's much further forward of where the arch sits on the right foot. You'll notice that there's a little marking on the diagram, a little circle on where the foot hinges. That is the ball of the foot. The ball of your foot, like I say, is your hinge point, and you want that to line up in the shoe at its widest point. Okay? When you take a shoe, if you flex the shoe, you'll notice that the flex point is right at the ball, it's at its widest point. Okay? So pretend that the shoe bends here and your foot is in the shoe up in here, which is what happens most of the time when all we worry about is what kind of mom and grandma taught us, to feel for where our toe length is at. You know, in a shoe we reach down and feel for where our toe's at. A lot of times we bend incorrectly. So if we're bending here and the shoe wants to bend back here, consequently what happens is you'll get this flexing motion where your foot wants to come back and go with the grain. Okay, instead of relaxed, it's tense. And then what happens to your arch is your foot comes back, and then every step you take, your body weight pushes it back down, and you're fighting back and forth. If you look at this diagram again, you'll notice on the diagram on the left, you'll notice that there's a gap underneath the arch. You can see that the foot is too far into the shoe. And what common sense tells us when our toes are scrunched is that we will look to, go get me a size wider. Okay? If you buy a wider width, you'll solve this problem here, the problem of the toe scrunch, but you'll still bend incorrectly. And the problem with that, like I say, is you're just going to put so much more stress on your feet. At the end of the day, your feet are going to be more tired. Your shoes are going to wear out prematurely because you're forcing them to flex in a place that they're not designed to flex. So that is first and foremost. Now, how do you measure for that? Okay? When we're looking at measuring, we have what's called a Brannock scale. This scale has been around long before I was around, and most people, all they care about is they put their foot on the scale, and all they worry about is where their toe length sits. So as I measure my foot here, as I said, most people would tell me, based upon my toe length, that I would wear a size 12. Okay? That's kind of what, like I said, Mom and Grandma taught us that we should look for that, and logic says that that should be correct. However, as I measure the arch length on my foot, this little device here on the side will measure from your heel to the ball of your foot, which shows your arch length. Okay. Now, as I put that right on the ball of my foot, right where I hinge, okay, you'll notice when you look at the scale now that my arch length is now measuring closer to in between 13 and 14, 13 and a half-ish. Okay. And if we go back here, we can look at the width. Okay, follow the 13 down, and I'm in a B width. Okay. 14, I'm actually a little narrower. Alright, so that's how you should use a Brannock scale. Alright, now is the scale 100% accurate? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that it's measuring your true foot size, but every shoe fits completely different. So there are going to be some shoes that are going to fit bigger, some that are going to fit smaller. I have shoes that fit in size 13s, and I have shoes that fit in size 14s, based on the manufacturer, the last, and where they're built.